You don't need me to sit here and tell you what to do. I'm just here to keep you on track and to keep you looking in the right places. But you don't need me to do it.
Hi guys, Tim here from Foodie Coaches, and today I'm here again with Laura, talking about what it's like to be a coach here. Talk to me, what's the hardest part of your job, other than dealing with me?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the hardest.
So many people say that. I'm an easygoing guy.
If I'm not supposed to say that.
No, you can say whatever you want.
One of the hardest parts of the job, I'd say, is having to come to some calls knowing there's going to be a hard conversation. It can be people that are in a really hard place financially and they're not looking in the right place. And we know that, and they're stuck on a problem.
And we got to say the things that they don't want to hear.
And it's hard because when you see the penny drop, that they're like, oh, you're right.
You've got to get through that wall of their ego not wanting to listen to it.
And it's finding different ways to communicate with different people with how they're going to listen, because some people get so stuck on something as simple as revenue.
No, you don't. Need more revenue.
To fix these things first. And that can be really hard because sometimes they've worked really hard on all the other things too. It's not that they haven't worked hard on it, it's just that there's more to do. And it's having to tell someone that it's really great what you've done, we need to keep going.
But it's not enough.
And I think as well as people get further down that journey, reminding people that they need to keep going over those base things, those base issues that are always going to be there. You do hosted goods one time, but do it again. Go do it again. It can be really hard to bring people back to that sometimes and show them the problem that they would rather not see.
Yeah, I can see that. How do you handle, obviously those tough conversations come into people not doing the work. How do you handle the people who don't show up and do the work? And I think that's becoming less and less. How have you handled it?
For me, it's really trying to highlight what our 50% is in that. We both have a job. Yes. We can't go and do the work for them.
No. And to be honest, even if we did, they'd get the result for a month, 2 months, and then they'd end up back in the same spot because their behavior hasn't changed.
And we don't want to fix the short term. We want to fix the real problem. For me, I think having those conversations of bringing it back to, I'm trying to do my best here with what our role is and offer all of the guidance and the tools and the resources, and we're here to solve the problem. But if you're not going to do it, then what are we doing?
You've got to show up. Do you ever feel like you've cared more than a member has before?
Yes.
How do you manage that?
There is a certain level of realizing that we can't do it for them, which is frustrating from afar because you know that it's possible and you can see the results that can happen. And in the end, if they're not going to take control, then you just have to take it what it is.
What does it feel like when a client does have a breakthrough for you?
It's amazing. I feel so proud. It's just this real proud moment of just knew it could happen. And when you see it happen, you're just like, yeah. And honestly, I've some people, when they start making those leaps, you just sit there and you're like, and I'm just sitting there like being a cheerleader for a little bit. Now let's do that.
It's exciting.
Because you're just sitting there and you're like, you don't need me now. And that's the point of this. You don't need me to sit here and tell you what to do. I'm just here to keep you on track and to keep you looking in the right places. But you don't need me to do it.
Yeah.
That's when we're just facilitating, which is exciting.
Tell me. Because there's some tough conversations to get to that point. It's not just a walk in the park. A lot of owners are in the position that they're in their life because no one has actually told them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. When you tell people what they need to hear, there's tough conversations. Can you talk us through one of the toughest conversations you can remember having and how it changed that client? We've all had a lot of them and you almost have these daily. Talk to me.
For me, one of the hardest, I had a client that was losing a lot of money. She was really stuck and getting frustrated. And there was this block where she was frustrated with everything, frustrated with the group and frustrated that we weren't doing enough.
I totally get that. When you're working on your business, you're working with someone to get results and they're not coming the way you need them. The first place you stare at is the person you're paying to help you. I get the frustration.
100%. And I had to go, okay, the problems that you're bringing to me are different to the problems that you're having in the business. And I can't see the number side of it. So we need to break down the numbers. When we broke down the numbers, it was an entirely different issue than what she thought she was having. We went into a meeting and I knew I had to try and redirect the focus a little bit. It was just really hard because there was just this block where she didn't want to listen to me.
Yeah, because she knew the answer.
She just went, no, like that's not it. This is the problem, and kept redirecting. And again, looking for so many different ways to highlight what the core issue was. And it was just trying to seek that, breaking down numbers in different ways to let that drop. And that moment of realization of, oh shit, okay, I can see it now. To be honest, it took a few calls to really push past that frustration and to show what we were doing here and the way out. It took a few calls of showing up to go, what are we going to try and push through here? And we kept pushing through the same problem over and over again. I wasn't sure if we were going to get there. And then I got a message saying, yep, made profit in the last 2 months.
Yeah, finally.
And it was just what changed. The frustration shifted into, okay, I know it was done. And the results came from that.
That's cool. And what kind of growth do you see in people beyond the business results? People join up to fix their business.
They grow as a person, as a parent, as a partner, like as a human being. It's like they're filling their soul at the same time because they're getting more satisfaction out of their business. They're more driven with the overall vision, but it then also impacts their life, because the whole thing with hospitality is that people get drawn in and they don't have a life a lot of the time, or they can't be with their family, and they don't have this balance. So by getting things in order with their business, it puts their life back in place where they have that flexibility and control again. So you see their growth as a person choosing what they want to do with their day to day.
So them as a person grows and changes their whole business, their whole life
Yeah.
as a result. Awesome, dude. Thanks for being here.